Hi guys, my name is Christine, and today I'm talking about I always get what I visualize. And it's very true. Whenever I really take the time to visualize things that I want to manifest, they do. Whether it happens really quickly or whether it happens in a few months or a few years, I always get what I visualize. And I'm going to basically teach you what I do so you can have the same effects. You can have the same things happen to you. So obviously the first one is a very simple one, and that is you've got to be able to visualize what you want very clearly. So if you find it difficult to visualize something, then it's going to take a lot longer to manifest. You've got to be able to see it in your mind as if it's like a movie in your head and you can see it really, really clearly. All of the things that I've been able to manifest, I've been able to see extremely clearly in my mind. So if for whatever reason when you're trying to manifest and you're manifesting something and it's a bit cloudy, you can't quite get to that point where it looks really clear in your mind, as if it's almost like when you think back on a memory, a memory that you may have, like maybe when you went to school or with like a really strong, clear memory. It's got to be as clear as a memory, as if it's already happened basically in your life and you've seen it. So it's very easy then to be able to visualize things in your environment that you're already in. This is why a lot of people struggle to things like manifesting a house, right? Because if it's a house they've not been in, then it can be very difficult to visualize a house that you don't know exists, okay? And so you're kind of making it up in your own mind. So it can be very difficult to do that because you might not be able to necessarily see the wallpaper, the carpets. Some people might be able to, but it can be very difficult to manifest a house because you can't visualize it as good, right? So you've got to be able to visualize it really clearly. If your vision is blurred, then it's not going to manifest as quickly. You can probably still get it eventually, but it may take a lot longer. And if you're trying to manifest something instantly, then obviously you want to be able to visualize it very instantly. So I visualize it very, very clearly. If I can't visualize it for whatever reason, then it probably means that for whatever reason I can't manifest this right now. There may be a block somewhere with me and my energy and my vibration. And so the things that I haven't been able to visualize very clearly, I haven't been able to manifest. All those things have manifested, but just a lot slower. Okay. So another thing that can really help as well is that when you're in this process of trying to visualize the things that you want, and you want it to happen fast, you've got to live differently. So you can't be the same person as you once were who didn't manifest those things, who didn't have those things. If you want to have the things that you want and to have your visualizations come true, you need to change your life in terms of your energy, like how you live your life day to day. Now, I'll go into some specific examples of things that I've manifested now, okay? And what I did, I've already told you what I did with visualization, but what I did energetically, okay? What I did with my vibe, I guess you could say, to manifest the things that I wanted. So there was two things that I really wanted to manifest a couple of years back. And there was a couple of things that I had to do. There was a couple of things that I was doing differently in my life. Okay. So one of those things was I was listening to really upbeat, positive music. So for example, I was listening to a lot of Sia, like those really inspirational songs that she's made, like Unstoppable, and Titanium. I was listening to those like on repeat and just feeling really good and energetic and just trying to like really pump up my energy, because I know that if I want to manifest something, then I've got to feel good, right? That's one of the biggest teachings. You've got to change your vibration. And if you're feeling low and you're not feeling good about yourself, or you're just not feeling good in general, and you're just sort of like living day in, day out, sort of on this low vibration, then you're not going to manifest the things that you want. So you need to raise your vibration. And one of the ways that I did that was by music. Another thing as well, that I was really like pumping myself up. So I would like walk around my room, in my bedroom, and just be like, yes, acting as if it's already happened. And I could see it, like I said, with my visualization, I could see it clearly in my mind happening. So these two things that I wanted to manifest was I wanted to manifest getting pregnant, which happened. I now have a beautiful 1-year-old. Well, about to be a 1-year-old. And I also wanted to win a case that I was going through at the time. It wasn't like a big legal thing or anything like that, but there was something that I had been wronged in some way, and I wanted to rectify it, and I was able to do so. I imagine getting the phone call. My visualization on these things got so good, especially with the case that I wanted to win. It got so good that I was dreaming of it happening. In fact, I had a dream that there was frost on the ground. And this was like around March in the UK. And usually around March time in the UK, that's when usually the frost is starting to disappear. You don't see it very well. But I had a dream about there being frost on the ground. And there was also like a plant. Because what I did is I was looking out of my bedroom window in my dream. And I could see the frost on the ground, on the grass in my garden. And I could see also like something growing as well. Something that wasn't there. Okay, there wasn't currently in my garden. Something was growing to the left. And it looked like a little tree. And basically on the day that I won that case, there was frost on the ground. And also there was something budding there, which actually turned out to be a long piece of something called chicory. Just something random there. But it was one of those things, right? It was strange. It was like and you'll notice this, right? You'll notice things like this happening when you're really focused and really, really want something. You'll start to notice these things, okay? So when it comes to getting pregnant, I was able to visualize the clear blue pregnancy test, okay? And there's a specific one that has like a flashing light, which we already had bought to be able to test. And I was visualizing that I was in my bathroom. The sun was shining through the window, and I could see the red light flashing, or maybe it's orange, but anyway, there's a little light that flashes on the pregnancy test, and it was saying pregnant. And that happened. That literally happened on the day that I did decide to test if I was pregnant. And these were all things I was able to visualize clearly. And I even had a dream when it came to winning that case. And about what would happen on that day, about there being frost on the ground, which there usually isn't. It's usually dying off in March. And it all happened that day. That day I managed to win my case. And on the day that I found out that I was definitely pregnant, even though I already had an inkling that I was, the clear blue test, as clear as day, it was just like how I visualized. Okay. And this is what can happen when you really are focused. Now, what I also want to tell you is this, okay? So not only was I pumping myself up by listening to a lot of inspirational music and visualizing these things very clearly, even to the point where I was having dreams, I desperately, desperately, desperately wanted these things. I had a burning desire for these things. Nothing was going to get in my way of winning that case. Nothing was going to get in my way of being pregnant. Nothing, okay? I even had my mum tell me, because I was going through this case, she was like, oh, maybe, because you've had this going on and all this worry and anxiety about this case, maybe you should like hold off. Maybe you shouldn't have your fertility treatment this month. And I was like, nope, not happening, not happening. I'm doing it. And luckily I listened to myself, because otherwise I wouldn't have my gorgeous child now. If maybe I would have got pregnant another month, but that child would have been completely different to the one I have now. And I love my baby. I don't want them to be any different than what they are. So you got to listen to your own inner instincts. Okay, it's so important. Okay. So I was living differently. That's what I mean by that. I was pumping myself up with music, which I don't usually do. Even like a strange thing that I did that month when I manifested these things that I really wanted. I even went back to doing something I hadn't done in a long time, which was drawing. I drew this picture around that time as well. I was living differently. Okay, so that's what I mean by living differently. I don't mean that you need to live in a new house. I don't mean that you need to be, change your life dramatically. All you just need to do is change your energy and maybe go back into some hobbies that you used to really love doing, like what I did. I went back to doing some drawing. Yeah? It's just things like that. You just got to be living differently, okay? So it's all about then flooding yourself with these positive emotions, and that's so important. You got to find a way, do anything that uplifts your mood, that makes you feel happy, that puts you in a good mood, and you got to be able to visualize these things extremely clearly as well, like what I was able to. Now you might be able to do it a bit differently. I'm just going through the process that I went through. And also when it came to this cat right here, this is Lady. You can't see her face very well, but she's right there. Maybe she'll make a sound. Yeah, she made a sound. I don't know if you could hear that. I visualized her too. I remember, but this took a while. Okay, this was a visualization that took a while, but a manifestation that took a while. But we was living in a completely different town, a completely different place when I started to visualize Lady. But I had this visualization of like finding a tabby cat. Okay, I wasn't even 100% sure if we even really wanted a tabby cat, but I remember whenever I kind of like was visualizing, finding a cat and getting a cat, the vision in my head was always a tabby, but it wasn't a very clear vision. So like the vision that I had, Lady was grey. She was like more grey, whereas here she's sort of a little bit more brown in places. But I couldn't visualize her very well, and also she's got orange eyes. But in my visualization, the eyes were blue. But again, it was a very blurry image. It wasn't very clear at all. And it took a while for us to get a cat as well. So, it's one of those things. It's just one of those things that proved to me that sometimes if your visualization isn't very clear, it can take a while to manifest the things that you want. It doesn't mean that they don't happen. It just may take a bit more time. In terms of my other YouTube channel, for example, as well, I would visualize the views going up, like skyrocketing, right? Just the views to skyrocketing. And I did that through a meditation that Wayne Dyer did. I think it's called the morning meditation by Dr. Wayne Dyer. And basically you're using the sound of you do that while you're visualizing the things that you want to manifest. Okay. And I did that for my other YouTube channel, which is Christine Loveridge. It's a dating and relationship channel. You may not be wanting to view that, but it's one of the it's a channel that's doing extremely well. I've got over 30,000 subscribers on that channel now, and the views are just skyrocketing all the time. And I visualized my analytics for that YouTube channel, and I visualized it skyrocketing. And it's just another one of those things that I was able to manifest, and also a lot of hard work as well. Because what you got to realize as well, okay, especially when it comes to visualizing something and trying to manifest something like a business, something that you have to put work into. I do believe that you do have to put in a lot of work in order to, especially if it's something like a business. If it's something like, for example, something that's kind of a little bit out of your control, like getting pregnant, then obviously the hard work is only just your visualization, making sure that you're in a good mood, and changing your energy and sort of living differently, going back to good hobbies that brought you lots of inspiration and things. But when it comes to like building a business, you do have to put in work, okay? And what I found worked with me, if you're interested to know, is that I've put out so many videos on that channel, way more than this channel, way more. I think it's over 1,000 now videos that are on my YouTube channel, my other YouTube channel, and probably, to say the least, it's probably even more. I don't know. I haven't checked for a long time because I just sort of post. But that's what I do. I post. And because I've been doing that for a long time, and I knew if I did that for a long time, eventually there will be a few hits. Eventually I'll be attracting more clients through those videos. Eventually I will be getting more ad revenue from those videos, because I knew that I had to just put out the reps. I just had to keep on posting. And now that I've done that, I have a good catalogue of what has worked, what hasn't worked. And what you'll find on that YouTube channel is I now really solely just make videos on topics that I've done previously well. And that's what you got to do. Sometimes when you're trying to create something, you're trying to make something happen, you have to put in a lot of reps. You have to put in a lot of repetitions. And then when you find stuff that works, then you lean heavily into those things that do work, and you have to ignore the rest. And in a way, I think it's with writers when they write a book. Sometimes they need to do something which is called kill your darlings. So that means sometimes you have to let go of things that were not working, but you may have really, really cared about them and loved doing them. Okay. So you have to let go of those videos. So for example, one of the things that wasn't working on my channel a few years ago was I used to do book summaries of self-help books, and they weren't getting hardly any views. It was like something like between like 20 and 50, and they just always tanked and performed really badly on my channel. So I bit the bullet and I stopped doing them, even though I loved making those videos. But they just weren't working. They just weren't growing. They weren't helping with the growth of the channel. The other videos were, so I leaned heavily into the videos that were. So sometimes you do, in order to succeed, you need to kill your darlings. Okay, but anyway, that's my tips on visualizing, and basically how I've managed to manifest everything that I've visualized in this life that I've lived so far. There's plenty more to come, because that's the fun thing about creating and visualizing and manifesting. There's always something else that you want to manifest, and I promise you that you'll be able to do that if you follow the ideas and the tips laid out in this video. But you know what? If there's something that didn't align with you and you're like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that, then don't. Because if you're doing something you don't like to do, then you're not going to be able to manifest. You're not going to be able to manifest it. So try and find a different method if you didn't like the methods that I talked about. Because remember, the important thing about manifesting is that you feel good and you feel energized, and you put yourself in a good mood, and you're able to flood yourself with positive emotions. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you like coaching with me of some kind, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com and pick whichever coaching option works best for you at this current time. And I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.